Arnie, would you be disappointed to see the Wellington Phoenix die?
Yes, I think my biggest concern at the moment is if Sydney FC is still going to be around. I think that's how big a decision it's going to be. Whether David Traktovenko, he's a wonderful man. He's a generous man. He has parted out with a lot of money for the A-League. Sydney FC have been the leader in parting out money for the A-League to bring marquee players in. I'm just worried even about my job, my family, all the players and their families as well, because this decision has left to one family, and that's the Scott Barlow family, David Traktovenko family, that can make a decision whether to stay or not. And if they aren't happy with what's going on, and if they're not happy with a potential Sutherland Shire team and they walk away, what's next?
So this city's not big enough to be divided in three?
When I had a quick look at the internet this morning, and saw that all the owners are saying that they were promised that this wasn't going to happen, and if I see what Paul Lederer has said, who's come in and is now an owner of West Sydney, but also what Scott said, that Scott and David, they bought a licence that pretty much they had 100% of Sydney. That's already been cut in 50% by the Wanderers coming in, and if Sutherland come in, that cuts it back to 33%. So within a year, Paul Lederer loses 17% of his licence, and Sydney the same. But for me, I'm a Sutherland Shire boy. I lived there and grew up and played all my junior football there, and I've got friends there. 40% of our junior membership is from Sutherland Shire. We've got 4 or 5 young kids here in Gersbash, Numoff and Bazanis, Calva, that come from that area. So we would, for us, for me as a coach, but also for us as a club, what we would lose would be enormous. And I think that really needs to be thought through properly before any hasty decisions are being made, because Wellington Phoenix, okay, they might not bring the so-called metrics to the game, but geez, there is a good market there, and they've got a great coach in Ernie Merrick who plays really good football, and they've been easy on the eye for the last couple of years, and you've got to worry about all those players. Where do they go? So it's worrying times. I think that it's not up to me. Obviously, I don't make those decisions, but you've asked for my opinion. I just worry about Sydney FC.
Andrew Durante said yesterday that they kind of look after themselves. They've got good owners. They've got a development system set up as well. Brisbane, Newcastle, Central Coast, even Perth have had issues. Does Football Australia need to be looking at its own backyard and fixing what issues are?
They already own one club, Newcastle Jets, and everything that was in the off season with Brisbane, thankfully, has been cleared up. And again, it's not my opinion, it's not my say on the decisions of that, but the A-League has come a long way on the field. Off the field, obviously, there's still ongoing issues, and the owners are the ones that it's their money. They're parting out of their hard-earned cash and a lot of money to fund and to put into the clubs and into the A-League. And as I said, Scott Barlow and David Traktovenko, in the 10 years that they've been in charge of Sydney FC, they've put a huge amount of money in, lost a lot of money. And I spoke to Scott yesterday and over the phone, and he was extremely upset on the way and how he's getting treated. That he feels disrespected in all this, and that's sad to hear.
So you don't believe David Gallop? I mean, he said yesterday that a new team in Southern Sydney wouldn't tread on anyone else's toes. What's the feeling?
I know David means well with that, and I can't say, I don't do the research, but the only research that Sydney FC have got is that 30% of our members come from Sutherland Shire, St George area, and 40% of our junior membership come from Sutherland Shire that come to games and that. So if you're going to take 30% off 12,000 and 40% off our junior members, it leaves a big hole for us. And then if a club does go in there, then do they end up taking over the inner west? Because it's close. If they then take over the Mascot area and those type of areas, and they do build something at Barton Park, well, we're going to end up Bondi.
Is it wrong to then compare that to the way Sydney's membership went up when the Western Sydney Wanderers came in?
Yeah, look, I think it's, there's between the city of Sydney and the western suburbs. The western suburbs is so big now because of the growth of Sydney, and it's totally different. There's only one tunnel that separates, the city of Sydney, but also the Sutherland Shire. There's only an airport in between us, pretty much, and it's only 5 minutes travel, 10 minutes travel, and I know the derbies are good, but how many derbies is there before it becomes, in a 10-team comp? I read an article, I think it was yesterday, about Glasgow Rangers Celtic, and it was always wonderful derbies and that until it became when they played 4 times against each other. We're playing against 3 times against each other as it is now. So do the people of Sydney want 6 derbies?
Judging by what you said about Scott and David, are they ready to walk away? I mean, is Sydney going to exist in 3-4 years' time?
No, David would. I would say it'd take a lot for him to walk away, but that's the questions I can't answer. If they feel that they're not getting their money's worth, or they feel that things are getting taken away from them that they were promised, and it's their money, it's not ours. What would you do? That's the question you got to ask. What would you do if someone was taking things off you? That's a concerning thing.